I had an exchange student from Europe recently, and he said his mom said she'd be happy as long as he ended up anywhere in the US except Texas. I live in New Orleans, like in the city. His mom was still happy it wasn't Texas.
What's good, y'all? It's the Demouchets React, and we're back with another video. Who we got today, C?
Today, we're back with another American reaction. Super excited about this video, guys. If you're new to us and we're new to you, make sure you scroll down, hit that subscribe button, and turn on the post notification bell, because we're on the road to 100K. And we cannot get there without you guys, all right? Join the family. Without further ado, let's get into the video.
On Americans, what misconception did you have about America that you learned was wrong upon moving to America? My German friends wanted to shoot all my guns. When I told them I didn't have any, they looked at me like I was lying. I've taken several Germans to the range. It's a pretty awesome experience for them. I don't think they really grasp how bloody expensive ammo is though. Well, I recently learned that New York is a state as well as a city and that Washington isn't in Washington. A while back I was dating this girl from India who was shocked to discover that Seattle was nowhere near DC. I don't know if it is a misconception, but I expected Grand Canyon National Park to be less well maintained. Frankly, it's amazing for the amount of visitors visited last year. 10/10. You people have an amazing national park service. This year we decided to come back and tackle Yellowstone.
Yeah,
Next
definitely come
weekend,
back.
Actually,
Check it
hats
out.
off to the national parks. That is some public sector crap I hope you people decide to keep investing in. For me, more than cities, they are the crown jewels of the US. The amount of public land in the US is unique and incredible. Thank Teddy Roosevelt and John Muir. They were both amazing men that pioneered the vast national parks of North America. This one is a bit off topic, but hear me out. I grew up watching American movies, American media, American everything, and it became this very familiar place that I had never been to, and it almost seemed like it was fake, like it was all just one big movie set, and people spoke a made-up language I understood but never heard from native speakers in real life. At that point my view on America was almost disconnected from reality. When I finally visited America it was completely surreal, like I was taking part of those fictional movies I had seen as a kid. I saw landmarks in cities that I had only ever seen on a screen. It was a crazy experience.
Aww.
I get that. Even for Americans, there are places in the US that can be like that, especially New York City. I thought you were...
Yes, we say this all the time. We have not traveled to all 50 states yet.
Facts.
It is a goal of ours to travel to all 50 states. I think we have traveled through, how many? The whole southern border.
Yeah, we spoke about that.
The whole southern border.
We have traveled through.
Yeah, and some of Central, but we have not visited all of
Kind of like that.
the United States.
Makes a smiley face.
Yeah, so we always, we love to travel, love to have new experiences. Yeah.
Americans ate pizza every Friday. That's why I wanted to go to USA in the first place. If by every Friday you mean nearly every day, you're spot on about some of us. I thought sheriffs aren't real for some reason. At least not anymore. At least where I am. Police equals city. Sheriff equals county. State patrol equals state. But
These
mostly
movies,
highways
man.
and interstates. Being English, I didn't even think about a language barrier. At a football game, took me about 5 minutes to get a bottle of water. The girl just couldn't understand how I said water. I had to point to one someone else had in the end. It happens to everyone. I'm from Ohio and I went to visit my aunt and uncle in Georgia. I was trying to order a sandwich but I couldn't understand the questions that the waitress was asking me because I couldn't decipher her accent. My sister had to translate for me. It was pretty embarrassing now that I'm thinking about it. I thought people would...
I think people from up north or any other country probably wouldn't understand the way that we order sandwiches in the South.
Yeah.
Like how we say dressed, or what's the other one we say? Dress. Just dress.
Just dress.
Do you want me to dress it?
Okay, yeah, I see where you're going. Yeah. That's how it be.
Yeah.
But they do break it down for like cheeses and stuff like that. But yeah, just dress the whole sandwich. I want everything on it.
Right, and I think we're real good about knowing if someone isn't from where we're from, and the person would help.
Oh yeah,
would say, okay, so you want this, or do you want it like this?
Yeah, you see, for some people, they pick it up off of uniform, depending upon how they look and their clothing, like how they dress themselves up. And we'll be like, oh yeah, you can tell they're from here, like off the bat.
Or how they're looking at something.
A lot of time, we like from the South, like we'll really observe it. So we see you come into an environment and you look like you don't, and I'm used to say don't belong in the environment because you're not understanding on what's
familiar.
what. You're not familiar with it. Yeah, we're gonna peep that off the bat.
It will help you.
We'll help you 100%.
The good people.
Say yeah a lot more. Sorry to disappoint. Honestly, you guys were a lot friendlier than I expected.
Facts.
Even in New York, which seems to pride itself on not giving a frick, I found people to be extremely friendly, polite and helpful. Fellow New Yorker here, can confirm, we do give a frick. I didn't realize those red cups were actually real and used by everyone in the US at parties.
Yeah, that's the thing.
Just like a movie thing. My friend's mum went to the US and brought us back a stack while we were at uni. We felt like we were in a teen film. We even washed them up when we were done so we could use them again.
Come on, man.
The love of the red Solo cup abroad makes me laugh.
Us too.
That I'd have no problem communicating because the people there speak a form of English. I've listened to the accents and the media my whole life, etc. Man, was I wrong. I don't think I spoke to a single person who I didn't have to ask to repeat themselves at least once. This was in Orlando.
That's not bad.
This sounds stupid. I knew America was big. But when I thought I could drive from New York to Florida pretty easily, I was so wrong. I just didn't quite register how bloody far away everything is.
Yeah.
That's like, what, 2 days?
If that depends, if they resting. It's gonna be longer than 2 days.
That's a while.
Yeah, you're gonna be driving for a minute.
That's the whole coast.
Facts. That's like,
I'm thinking from
where are the phones, bro? You crossing a few lines.
New York to what?
To Florida.
That's a lot of states.
Yeah, you crossing a few lines.
New York.
Oh, you gonna do some
Florida.
rest spots, man. Gas and all that. I don't think nobody actually want to take that drive unless they that type of person.
That's 17 hours.
That wanna. That's not bad.
Yeah, I thought it was 2 days. It's almost 2 days.
It depends on how determined.
Oh no, that's 1 day.
It's 1 day, but it depends on how determined. I'm not doing the whole 17
Nobody
flat.
is gonna drive 17.
Unless you're determined to get somewhere, you gotta get like.
Right.
Yeah, I probably get that the next night.
Yeah.
So about 2 days.
Okay, yeah, because we drove 12 hours. No, 19.
With some rest stops. But we was determined though.
Yeah, 19.
So it was pushing.
Yeah. Okay, that's not that bad.
But yeah, don't do that.
I was wrong when I
But don't
thought
do that.
alligators just lived in the Everglades. Those suckers are everywhere in Florida. Florida has some dangerous wildlife.
Yes.
How surprisingly cold.
What is the iguana falls out the trees when they get cold?
That or they playing dead.
Oh,
Because they don't want to get eaten.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, imagine one slapping your window sill.
Yeah.
You ain't gonna like that.
They just fall.
They do. They do. It's like shoes falling out of the sky.
Yeah.
For real.
No, those cranes.
Oh, those cranes.
Oh.
They're very...
Huge.
They're very huge and they come off as friendly, but you don't want to get close to them. You don't want to get close to them.
You tried, huh?
I have tried. That's why I'm telling them
How
not
did
to
that
do
go
it.
for you?
Just don't do it.
Yeah. He was all brave until it started moving towards him.
Yeah, but and my height, and I'm 6 something. I ain't gonna tell y'all I'm like 6'3", so it got up there.
That's funny.
Some parts of Arizona can get. I visited it after spending a year in northern Ohio, and basically went there naked, as I didn't expect anything could be worse than Cleveland's winter. Nope. I almost froze to death when I went to see the Grand Canyon and it was snowing. When I went to the Grand Canyon in October, I showed up in shorts and a tank top expecting to still be hot.
Don't y'all hate that when y'all go travel and then y'all bring y'all summer clothes and all of a sudden the weather where y'all at just switch up on you? I don't like that.
Yeah, me
That's
either.
something I hate. Like,
me either.
It's not a
you
good
feel
thing.
unprepared.
Yeah, then you gotta go buy clothes.
Or change your itinerary.
Facts.
All
The whole
inside
thing.
things.
Yeah, for real.
in Phoenix. Nope. Not only was it freezing, but it was the windiest place I have been in my entire life.
That wind cuts you.
So beautiful though. just the size of the USA. I never realized just how massive that country is.
Yeah, it is.
Our state-to-state drive is a European's country-to-country drive. When my parents and I moved from Poland to Texas in 1997, we had no idea Daisy sour cream wasn't a cheese spread.
Whoa.
Still have it on sandwiches.
Hey, don't knock it
It's
now.
good.
Solo road trip
Yeah,
on
yeah.
Route 66. I picked up an 18-year-old Dutch kid on his first trip out of his country. He thought all American diners were owned by one company called Diner. That was pretty adorable. My grandmother was an impressionable small-town teenager in the UK during World War II, and fell in love with her fair share of American GIs as there were hundreds stationed in her hometown. They took her to dances, swept her off her feet and left her with a hugely romantic view of life in the USA, bolstered over the years by movies. In 2003 my family took her to Florida on holiday and she was devastated that everyone lived normal lives.
Yeah.
AWW, that's the nicest thing anyone has ever said about Florida.
They always
Come
pick on
on, man.
Florida.
They do, for real.
I thought Washington was the most serious place in the States, but when I went there for a tour at the WH about 3 years ago, most of the city smelled like pot. I was very confused. People think DC equals government, which it does, but they forget that it's also an incredibly liberal population.
It is.
I don't know the numbers now, but it also used to be the gayest city in America, by percentage of population. And we know how to party. You get a lot of high-strung young professionals, and they have to blow off steam somehow. My British cousin thought that soccer was way bigger than it was. He came and saw a Revs game with us and it wasn't that full. He was shocked, needless to say. I got an admit to a school in Texas. I was worried about the gunslinging cowboys and random shootouts everywhere. 4 years and I am yet to see any of those guys here. I did get to play with guns in a range last year though. I had an exchange student from Europe recently, and he said his mom said she'd be happy as long as he ended up anywhere in the US except Texas. I live in New Orleans, like in the city. His mom was still happy it wasn't Texas. He said he would fill her in on the actual danger to him in New Orleans versus Texas when he went home.
But what y'all ain't gonna do is get on my city like that. Okay? At least you're gonna have a good time.
Yeah, I think that was a good spot to
least-
move, though,
right.
man. Like, he had for either one, though. Like, Texas and New Orleans are both dope places to be.
Yeah, it is.
You can't sleep on neither. They
You
both,
may
you
have
fun in
to,
both.
you know, look down the corner before you walk on the street, but you're gonna be good.
Yeah. Just definitely look both ways.
I visited Nick and had the expectation that everyone would be rushing about and keeping to themselves, but people were so friendly. Like several times a day girls stopped me in the street simply to say something nice about my hair outfit. I just found it really strange, but nice. I'm from London, UK, and I guess I'm just used to people avoiding eye contact or talking to strangers. The only downside was the cat calling was heavy and more aggressive than I've experienced
They
anywhere
gonna pull on
else.
you now.
I've only been to Vegas and Florida, but I've generally always found Americans to be really pleasant and polite.
That's the major cities.
Yeah.
I thought Canadian and American accents were the same. Surprised me every time someone asked me if I was Canadian after speaking just a few sentences. Interestingly enough, Michiganders were really good picking out Canadian accents, but I was horrible at distinguishing theirs from Canadians. That it was a big country. It's not. It's insanely vast. Stupidly vast. Beyond anything I can compare it to. Returning to the UK after a trip to the US. It feels like I'm visiting Toy Town and everything is just so cute.
That's
That's
funny.
crazy.
English and feel like this after a week or two away. Also, people are a lot less fat than we're led to believe. Yes,
See?
some obesity, but no more than I see here in the UK.
Right.
I also
Yeah, you ain't gonna really see that. Like, it's crazy because we have so many fast food restaurants. Well, let me just say we got good food everywhere just about, y'all. So they think that we overindulging on it,
Right.
but like we got a lot of healthy folk, a lot of people that's in the athletic realm, people that's
Right.
just confident in themselves overall. So I don't think the whole massive overweight thing is like
Yeah.
a takeover.
Right. And I mean, there was a comment one time on the channel that said, when I visit America, I didn't know that they had people in different shapes and sizes. And
Yeah, I
I'm like,
remember that.
I'm like, what?
I think that's everywhere. They're like, come on now.
felt massively safer driving in the US than I do in the UK. People seem to drive with a lot more patience and there is a lot less under or overtaking. In the UK at any given moment,
I'm side-eyed in
someone
that
is
too.
planning to cut you up or is actively swearing at you a car away for being either too fast or too slow, or not pulling away from a red light the instant it turns amber. My friend's wife is from Costa Rica. She was shocked to find out that Americans take regular showers when she moved here. I guess most of the Americans she was exposed to growing up were the backpack Costa Rica hippie types who didn't clean themselves much. Thought food was gonna be crap for some reason. Then discovered that the quality is way better than what I'm used to. Also thought everyone was gonna be morbidly obese. Came to Colorado, 90% of people are fit as frick. Thought Walmart was gonna suck. Ended up loving Walmart. I thought there was only one government for all states where all decisions were made.
No.
Turns out each state makes a lot of important decisions for itself. In general, power is a lot more distributed than I expected.
Yes.
I thought that WrestleMania was a huge deal for Americans.
Used to be.
I was hoping that it would be like a national holiday. WrestleMania and NASA are my two favorite things about America, so this was very sad for me. Vince McMahon would like to have a word with you about an exciting offer that only costs $9.99 a month. Everyone was so nice. Everything so neat and orderly. Did think it would be more busy chaotic, since the population is much larger. I didn't realize you actually have cartoonish yellow school buses everywhere.
Come on,
Blew my
cartoonish?
mind. Everyone looked much healthier than expected. Lots in the media.
So what color are school buses where you're from? Because I've seen white before and like that's simple. White school buses, but
is there school buses? Because I know that they do a lot of public transits. And
a lot of walking.
Yeah, a lot of walking.
Bike rides.
Do y'all have public school buses where you are?
Yeah. Drop that in the comments, y'all. Definitely want to hear that.
About obesity, American TV shows, famous for fast food etc. It's a beautiful country. Met a guy visiting from Portugal. He said he was surprised that he hasn't seen anyone get shot in the street yet. He assumed everyone in America carried a gun and street shootings were extremely common.
This is not the Wild Wild West.
Not really a misconception, but I was pretty young when I moved to the US from mainland Europe. My parents mentioned that the US was at war with Iraq. This was in 2003, and I wondered to myself why we were moving to a war zone. I thought that there would be air raids and bombings all the time.
Thank the Lord it wasn't.
Right.
And everyone is as good looking as the people on TV. We are, but the show is Roseanne.
Whoa!
The Yankees hat is just one of the more popular ones just because of its design. It actually means something there. Duh. It took a while, walking through Baltimore, to realize that. I was shocked how nice everyone was. I was in NJ and New York City. All I heard growing up was how rude and mean Nick residents were. Not my experience at all. Hollywood. I believed it was wall-to-wall famous people, walking on red carpets dressed in golden gowns and everything was possible if you just walked on that beautiful boulevard.
Yeah,
Wrong,
the dream, right?
As an American, I too know the disappointment of seeing Hollywood for the first time. I was stunned and fascinated by different time zones in the same country.
Yeah.
That every shop is like Costco, big, in bulk, and relatively cheap.
No.
The majority of people in the US are a fat, racist and selfish motherfucker. Couldn't be more wrong. Everyone was very nice, educated and kind. Unfortunately, the worst people get the most attention inside and outside the US.
Yeah, it's crazy.
I was under the impression that there were no cats in America. Obviously that wasn't the case.
What though?
That Colorado is all mountains and hippies. There's a lot of them for sure. But I was in Greeley recently and it was in many ways the anti-Boulder. It was strange how you could drive for like half an hour and go from solid liberal town to the heart of Trump country. That's true of most American cities. Rednecks and hillbillies. I thought it's a geographical thing and you can only see them in the south. The ones I met up north were pretty hostile at first but turned out to be awesome people in the end.
That's funny.
There are 50 states, not 52. Almost everyone who isn't American, that I know, thinks or at some point thought that there are 52 states. I still don't know why, but I suspect that Hawaii and Alaska might be involved.
Okay, why? What would be the other states? Okay, so there's 48 contiguous states. That's the mainland. And then we have Alaska, that's by Canada at the top. And then Hawaii at the bottom. They're not connected, but they're apart.
Right.
But they're also not territories like, you know, some of our other territories.
Like Puerto Rico.
Like Puerto Rico, yeah. So, why?
I don't know, like, I don't know.
I thought most Americans were affluent. Growing up in Asia, most Americans I met lived in really nice houses and had the latest gadgets. Now I'm studying in the States and I've noticed a huge socio-economic gap. I think that's a problem with perception worldwide.
Yes.
Unless you travel to a country, you never meet anyone who isn't at least decently well off. So your perception comes from those who can afford to travel.
Yep.
I thought Americans, especially Californians, are sassy and snob. I was so wrong about that. They are freaking chill, friendly, and some are really down to earth. I also thought most are really rich, that they own mansions with swimming pools at the mountains of Hollywood, but no. Most of them live in apartments and houses. My big misconception was, I thought life was easy here. That you don't have to have 2-4 jobs just to make a lot of money, but unfortunately, it was the other way.
Yeah.
I think the life is easy idea comes from the way media portrays life in America.
Yeah, media.
So many TV shows have young people who work at a coffee shop but can mysteriously afford a nice apartment and they can have no financial troubles. The reality is very different.
Very different,
to say
especially
the least.
in New York.
You have been visited by the money bird. It'll bring you good fortune.
Come on, money bird.
Subscribe in 42 seconds or less.
Yeah, man.
That was a good one.
It was.
That was a good one. Always like, you know, enlightening the folks.
Yeah, you know, visiting, you know, you will always come across good hospitality. That is a big plus.
We can't speak about it everywhere.
Well, you're right. But down here in the South, in Louisiana, you know what I'm saying? Around our neck of the woods, you will get good hospitality. And of course, you're going to run across people that's not going to always have that good intentions for you. But I'm telling you, you will come across good hospitality.
Yes. All 50 states are all different.
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, the people, the culture, architecture, everything is different.
I think something in the water.
Right. Although we moved to Texas, Texas is completely different.
Yeah.
From Louisiana. So, come experience the United States for yourself. None of them comments, okay? This was positive, all right? So, we hope you guys enjoyed this video with us. Like this video, subscribe, turn on the post notification bell. We have enabled our super thanks if you would like to support the channel that way, as well as our join feature to become a VIP member of the channel. Send in your reaction requests to our description box below. We'll see you soon.
Peace.